A very good afternoon to everyone. Meenakshi, good afternoon. Vaziki, good afternoon. Vaziki, Mohammed Vaziki, are you from the KSG GS batch? Arvind Singh, good afternoon. Vikrant Sehrawat, good afternoon. Savita Sharma, good afternoon. Am I audible clearly and am I visible also? Give me a confirmation on the WhatsApp if I'm audible and visible clearly. Sidra Siddiqui, well, good afternoon. Perfect. Great. So all of you, a very warm welcome to all of you. Good afternoon, 14th of January. First of all, happy Makar Sankranti to all of you. It's a beautiful day, although cold. Audible and visible. Perfect. Thank you, Meenakshi. Okay, great. Good afternoon, Murari. Perfect. Great. So, welcome everybody. So you are the PSIR Bakras. Welcome to the foundation course. New batch. I would want to know all of you. So if possible, I would want you to write your name and something about you, whatever you want to tell me, so that we can have a better relationship whereby I know who you are. And if you want to introduce yourself in whatever manner you want to, but keep it brief, please go ahead and write on the WhatsApp messages, because I would want to know all of you. And we are starting the journey of 4.5 months, and I would want you all to know me as well, and I would want to know each one of you also, in the sense that we can take things in a more informal manner, and we can improve the learning outcomes for which we are here. Make the study of the PSIR interesting, or study it in a manner in which you are able to grasp more. And this will only be there if you trust your faculty. And for the trust to be there, you need to open up to me, and I will open up to you, so that मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ आपको समझ आए, मैं जो बोलूँगा आप उसे एक्सेप्ट करने की कैपेबिलिटी भी रखें. Because some of you don't know me, some of you are students of the KSG's other general studies batches, so I'm aware about the others. So go ahead and write something about yourself on the WhatsApp chats, and then I intend to give you the brief about how we are going to go ahead with the course, and what you have opted for essentially. And cannot make out everyone's name from the chat. Nevertheless. So excited for the PSIR? You know, have any idea about what you're going to study? What are the syllabus? You have gone through that. You know how things are going on across the world and how they are so much interrelated to the subject of political science, that we can relate all the politics, all the international relations which is going on, and we can study it in a manner in which we enjoy also, in addition to learning all the aspects. Most aspects of the study involving the PSIR are very interesting. We'll be relating them to all the current affairs going on, and hence you'll be able to better understand those concepts. From your end, I would require you to go through the newspapers daily. It'll help you. You don't have to remember everything which is written. You don't have to necessarily note down everything which is written in the newspaper. But even reading the newspaper for half an hour or 1 hour, or even at your stage, if you're just starters, even if it takes more than 1 hour, that's okay. Don't shy away from reading a newspaper. It is going to help you. It is going to help you in more than one ways. You will realize it down the line. For the study of PSIR, or the subject of PSIR, again, newspaper interlinkages are huge, and I'm going to give you references of the examples which are going on in the current, in the current times. So I would want you to, be aware about all of them. Arvind Singh, MCom and B.Ed. Oh, great. MCom people, commerce people. GS course of KSG last year, completed previous GS course of KSG last year. तो आपने पहले भी KSG के साथ पैसा खराब किया, दोबारा से कर रहे हो? शाबाश, बहुत अच्छे. They're good at what they do. Just on lighter note. Good. Okay. Welcome, Arvind. Murari, electrical engineer from MIT Muzaffarpur, Bihar. अरे क्या बात है, बिहार से है, बहुत बढ़िया. Electrical engineer, perfect. Engineers are everywhere. So great engineers. Others. Savita Sharma, welcome Savita. Okay, great. See, the idea is to keep the environment a little bit informal. And I would also want to know if any of you within the group, we are keeping this group will always be kept limited for the better delivery of lectures. So I would want to know from all of you if you don't understand Hindi, because I might make references in Hindi, otherwise I'll not make any references in Hindi if you are not comfortable with Hindi, because we have students from the Northeast and the South India also, so they are not comfortable with Hindi. So if there are some in the batch, do let me know, and then I'll take it in that manner forward. I, coming from the Hindi belt, I have a habit of giving some kind of examples in Hindi. So I'll restrict myself only to English. So for that also, please let me know if any one of you does not understand Hindi. So that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, the mode of delivery is English. Don't worry, the mode of the delivery is English. It's going to be English all the time. Meenakshi Pundir, BSc in Biotechnology, KSG 2021, Bhopal. Oh, great, from Bhopal. I visited Bhopal recently. Pillakar belong to Tripura. Amazing. People from Northeast, currently pursuing BA in Political Science Honors. Perfect. Manipur, great. History Honors from DU. Oh, we have people from Northeast joining us again. Mizoram, complete beginner in humanities subjects, and I don't understand any Hindi at all. Not a problem. We have aspirants from Mizoram. See, please help me out. Help me out with a shorter version, maybe. Perfect. Great. You guys are going to take me to Northeast. I really want to go to Northeast. And down the line, when the situation is better, please take me to Northeast. Sidra Siddiqui. Psychology. Perfect. Baroda. Great. September 2020 batch KSG. Perfect. Great. So welcome everybody. Welcome. Sidra, welcome. Salini, welcome. Junaid. Arey, Politic Bareli wale. Perfect. From Bareli. Perfect. Junaid, welcome. Sidra, welcome. Salini, welcome. And when I get to know the name of our friends from Manipur and Mizoram, I'll pronounce the same. Welcome Meenakshi, welcome Savita, welcome Murari, welcome Arvind. Vikrant Sehrawat, pursuing final year of graduation in PSIR from ARSD South Campus, joined this batch in 15th November 2021. Perfect. So new people are joining us continuously. They'll keep joining us. Never mind. Welcome to everybody. So my name is Piyush Madaan, and we'll be going ahead with the section of the PSIR. I'll be doing PSIR with you. The manner in which we'll be covering things, what we will be covering, how things are going to span out for the next 4.5 months. I'll emphasize on this in this lecture, and the content part with respect to the lecture delivery and how where we are going to start with. We'll be starting with the Western political thought. That will start with the next lecture. Today's lecture, I intend to keep it more of a kind of orientation where I tell you how things are going to be for you for the coming times. Perfect. Let me share the screen with you and we might start. Great. I hope everything is visible to you. The screen is visible to you. Let me know if it is not. Let me know if there is any kind of an issue on the chat. Jitendra Singh, MA in Political Science, first year from Jivaji University, Gwalior. Oh, we have people from Gwalior also. So MP people are there, Northeast people are there. Great diversity we have. Perfect. Nisha Kanwat, pursuing BA program, History Political Science, second year, Gargi College, DU. Perfect. Somebody from DU. Great. Great. Rajasthan. Padharo Mare Des. Great. Okay, welcome everyone. And I would also want you to ask your doubts also with respect to anything regarding the course which comes to your mind. Feel free to ask me. Now you are part of the dedicated group, so you have my number also. You can reach out to me personally also. Otherwise, you can reach out to me, or otherwise you can, in the group also. Feel free to ask me anything. But since you have decided to invest your 4.5 months of time understanding the dynamics of this subject, so I would want you to be active. I would want you to be active. 3-4 requirements which I have from you is you have to be active. Come daily for the class. Please come daily for the class. I will try to ensure that the class is interesting enough for you to come daily for the class. If there are some other contingencies, unavoidable circumstances whereby you cannot attend the lecture, live lecture, then you can obviously see the lecture at your home, the recorded ones. But I would personally want you to come for the lectures, because live lectures, coming live for the lectures, because it's interactive, this thing will improve at the end of the day learning outcomes. See, what we study in the class, we are only able to retain a small percentage of it. We are not able to retain a large percentage of what we do in the class. It's a universal fact. It's related to how we consume data, how we consume knowledge, how we assimilate that knowledge. The idea is to improve that percentage of what you take from the classes. Usually the percentage of things which you take from the classes is less than 50%. The idea is to improve that percentage. And for me to improve that percentage, I would want you to be attentive in the class. I would want you to be interactive in the class. And I would want you to try to enjoy the process also, which I will make it for you. I'll try to make it for you. And this whole scenario, which we will do, which is that you come for the class, live class, then you do the assignments which are given to you, then you follow, or basically watch the YouTube videos which are provided to you. Don't watch any video on the YouTube. Don't waste your time with the YouTube. I'll be providing you with YouTube videos with respect to concepts. Try to go through them. Watch YouTube videos. Go through the editorials which I'll share. These will be shared on the group, and I'll be discussing aspects from the videos, from the editorials in the class itself, and we'll be taking down notes also from them when required. This holistic scenario will help you in improving the learning outcomes. And I would require you all to come and do this. Come for the live class, do the assignments, watch YouTube videos, go through editorials, evaluation and mentoring, which I'll be doing for you. Then there is another aspect, which is dictation, class notes, and printed notes. So you'll be provided with these 3 primary set of knowledge: dictation, class notes, and I would say there's assignments. This will be your primary source of the subject. You have to do the subject from this only. This will be more useful for the reference. Okay, so that if you feel like reading more for anything, you can read for that. Plus, for reference, I'll be providing you a lot more reading value addition materials. So, value addition material will be provided to you for reading part, which you can read at your end. You do not have to buy any book. You do not have to read any book. No need for that at all. The important aspects from the books are taken. They are already there in the printed notes and whatever will be given to you in the dictation and the class notes. All of things are already incorporated in them. But yes, some of you feel like reading books or text, some content, because it makes you feel confident. And for that purpose, we are providing you with the printed notes. You can go through them. They are very holistic notes. Go through these notes. Or if you still feel like reading something for a particular topic, reach out to me. I will share some more material with you, but only for that topic. No need to go into reading a lot about any particular topic, because that is not required for the examination. My focus will be on clearing your doubts with respect to whatever we learn in the classroom. So this will be very important for you in building your concepts. And I would encourage you to ask as many doubts as possible, so that 2.5 hours of time which we spend daily from Monday to Friday, this should be the most productive time for you as far as the optional is concerned. Because you have limited time at your end, this time has to be the most productive time. And that is why I'm saying come for the live classes daily. Don't miss the live classes, because last time also students, they have some issues at their end. College exams are there or something else comes up, and then the flow gets, you there's some roadblock in the way in which things are going on, and this thing affects. And then obviously I understand you have your other commitments also with respect to college, and maybe some other also with respect to GS also. So, but try to come for the class, and I will not recommend you leaving the class or missing the class. What you understand in the class is something which will go a long way in your uh, retaining that particular concept. Fine. It's a general thing. The point is that in this paper, what you will do is day one, you will have this much information to grasp. Day 10, you will have this much information. Day 15, let's say day 25, day 200, day 300. In 300 days, you will have this much knowledge to retain. Fine. Day one, there was only this much knowledge. And that is why, as you understand more things, you have to remember more things also. And this is where the things start going to become tough for you, because you have to keep a lot of things in your mind and you have to make your interlinkages. That is why you have to stick to limited sources only. Stick to limited sources only, no matter what. Notes, class notes, handouts can give you 280 to 320 marks depending on how you use them. Plus contemporary connect in the material, which we'll be doing every day. That we'll be talking, we'll be noting it down. But I would want you to develop a skill, so that after you are not with me after 4.5 months, you can still connect things, get some information from the current affairs and introduce it into your static part and make your answer better. This activity, this skill has to be learned. It has nothing to do with knowledge. Some amount of knowledge you need. After that, it's more about how well you are able to interconnect things. And that is why concepts are very important. You have to understand the concepts. Second part is dictation. Now, some of you abhor dictation, I understand, but this is important in the sense that whatever we discussed in the class, if you write it down at that particular moment, I'll be in this, but in the same way what we are talking now, I'll be dictating and you will be writing it down. The point with dictation, it leaves some things in your mind. Writing it down and the whole environment which is created around that, whereby we are writing and spending your time with that particular thing which I'm speaking, you are listening to it, then you are writing it down, you are spending time with it. This has an element of making the information go into your what we call as long-term memory. So this is going to help you. Don't shy away from dictation. A lot of students sometimes feel there's a dictation, so we'll take someone else's notes and we'll be done with. Don't do this activity. Dictation is important for you at the end of the day. Fine. Okay. Any kinds of doubts with respect to anything, feel free to ask. Feel free to ask. Okay. Now, this aspect, how we are going to go ahead. This is the syllabus. I'll be sharing this with you. Today it will be uploaded on your portals. The book list. Okay. See. Paper 1, paper 2. How we are going to go ahead. In paper 1, you have political theory and Indian government and politics. In paper 2, you have comparative politics and international politics and India and world, also known as India's foreign policy. Okay. This is how the syllabus has been divided for you. Each paper consists of 2 parts. If this is the theoretical part, this is the practical application of that theory. Here, a lot of theoretical part will be there. Here, it will be more about the application of this theory. International politics. If I talk about international politics, it consists of theories of international relation. Theories of international relation. In the sense that there are particular theoretical tools developed by the thinkers so as to analyze the relations between the nations. Okay, this is not going to work. Never mind. For example, there is a school of thought called as realism. The basic aspect related with the school of thought. It's a school of thought. It's a way of thinking, right? School of thought. Of what? Of international relations. How to study international relations, realism, okay? So the school of thought, international relations, realism, the idea is they'll say that whatever happens in the world, whatever actions are taken by the nations, we are talking about international relations. International relations, the actors are nations. America is a nation, India is a nation, Pakistan is a nation. Okay. Whatever actions are taken, as per the school of thought, by the nations, they are taken either to maximize their power or to maximize their security. All actions are taken for this aspect. Power is means and power is end. Meaning whatever is being done is for the sake of power. Is for the sake of power. Power is a means and power is the end. As per the school of thought, whatever nations do, they do it for the sake of power or security. Within the school of thought, one school of thought says power is the means and power is the end. Means, what is means? You want to do something, so you have, this is the means. The end is to write and provide you with the information. Power is the means and power is the end. You need power to have power. Power is utilized to have more power. At the end of the day, it is like a pack of animals fighting amongst each other for power, for supremacy, for hegemony. As per this school of thought, world is like a jungle. World is like a jungle. There is anarchy. In anarchy, what is who has the upper say? Lion is the king of the jungle. Why? Most powerful. As simple as that. Same concept applies for men also. And these nations which we are saying, they are nothing but they are nations composed of men, humans. They have given limited emphasis to women as an actor. They'll give more emphasis to men. Political theory, we'll see down the line, has been masculine in its orientation. Just like other subjects, political theory also has been masculine in its orientation. International politics, theories of IR, they are trying to explain why the nations take these steps which they are taking. So why is China present in the Galwan Valley? What is the need? Before that, they were in Doklam also. Or if I talk about the other Chinese actions, Chinese are asserting themselves in the South China Sea also. So they are present there also. And they are asserting themselves in the sense that they are saying they are not shy of claiming others' territory. Why are they doing all this? What is the reason behind this? Can't they cooperate with other nations? They can still grow. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to grow their nation. Ambition, just like men have ambition, nations have ambitions. India has ambition. What is the ambition of India? Anybody? India has an ambition with respect to international relations. India sees itself as an important player in the international relations or in the world politics. India has an ambition. Can anybody step up and try to answer what is that ambition of India? Nations have ambitions. All nations have ambitions. We also have an ambition. It's a part of our foreign policy. It's a goal of our foreign policy. It's one of the objectives of our foreign policy. What is that? Anybody would want to try to attempt? Vishwa Guru. We want to be Vishwa Guru. We have an ambition to preach and teach. What pasand hai? Vishwa Guru. We'll be Vishwa Guru. It's a goal of India's foreign policy. Goal of India's foreign policy. The goal is to become superpower. Okay, so now we are in PSIR. We will use our terms very carefully. In GS, you can use the term superpower loosely. In PSIR, you cannot use the superpower term loosely. What is the meaning with that? We classify powers in a certain manner. There are some powers which are superpowers. There are some powers which are great powers. There are some powers which are small powers. There are some powers which are middle powers also. Okay, so one way of classifying. We intend to be a great power. Being a superpower is a very far-fetched dream. Not saying that we do not have it, but being a superpower involves many more aspects. A superpower has a preponderance of economic and military power, and it's not easy to be a superpower. UK was a superpower of the 19th century. USA was of the 20th century. Now it is said India and China will have it their way in the 21st century, and that is why the concept of Asian century comes into picture. Some of you might have heard about this Asian century. So Murari is saying high growth rate and development, UNSC permanent member. Okay. You are correct. You are correct with respect to the goals of India's foreign policy. But ambition is to be a Vishwa Guru, if I have to term it in one sentence. But you are also not incorrect. It's fine. We have this ambition to be a UNSC permanent member. Being a UNSC permanent member is a recognition. Being a permanent member of UNSC is a recognition that you are a great power. Will we get that recognition? We are not getting this recognition anytime soon. We need to first work on ourselves. A lot of work has to be done on ourselves. Never mind. Coming back. Realist school will try to tell us about why China is behaving in a manner in which it is. There is another school, liberal school. They will talk about cooperation. Best example of cooperation, France and Germany. They were antagonists. They were antagonists in the First and the Second World War. And now they are working together. Now they are working together. Since the end of Second World War, France and Germany, they're working together. From the perspective of realists, this could never have happened. From the perspective of liberals, nations can cooperate also. It's not that they're all the time fighting. From the perspective of realists, nations are always fighting. And why they are fighting? Because nations are nothing but manifestations of men. Man is power hungry. Man is self-interested. He will always want more for himself because he is a self-interested being. Men. They'll keep on fighting. And realists will say, you go and look at the history of the world and think on this. You go and look at the history of the world and they'll say, the world has had small intervals of peace. Otherwise, wars have been a recurrent feature of the human history. There have always been wars. There have been short durations of peace. Otherwise, wars have been a recurrent feature. Chalti hi aayi hai, hamesha. Wars have always been there. So they'll say, why are you talking about peace? Why are you talking about cooperation? They'll talk about peace. They'll talk about wars. And they'll tell that war is bound to happen no matter what, because it is in the nature of man. War. And rather they'll say war is a recurrent feature. Peace is not a recurrent feature. War is a recurrent feature in the history. But we see cooperation also. Now they have been cooperating since the end of Second World War. Since 1945, they have been cooperating and they continue to cooperate. They were arch enemies. So what determines these things? Can we actually pinpoint to one or two factors which will determine how the nations will react? Maybe, maybe not. There is disagreement. International politics. Theoretical aspects. But everything is related to what is going on within the countries. Okay. Political theory. What is there in political theory? Okay. I hope it is visible. Yes. Okay. Any doubts at this point of time, go ahead and ask. Please feel free to ask any doubts. Okay. Political theory. This is a part of our syllabus. First part, the syllabus. Again, you'll be getting the PDF. Syllabus is there. Resource list is also mentioned. I have mentioned some books also, but I do not intend you to go through that. Class notes, KSG notes, handouts, assignments, primary sources. Okay. Now, the syllabus part. What is there in political theory? As per the syllabus given by the UPSC, and I would want you to keep this thing handy all the time in the preparation, in the sense that I'll be providing you with the PDF. Please take a printout of the PDF and keep it with yourself or stick it to some wall near you and keep it very handy. Okay. Political theory, meaning and approaches. Come to this part a little later. What exactly is political theory? What exactly is political theory? Okay, it is political and it is theory. First of all, it's theory, it's not practical. Second, it's political. And at this point of time, it's very important for me to discuss a little bit with you about what exactly is political politics. This will come, and we will be discussing all these things. Political theory, political thought, political ideals, political science. This is all part of our syllabus. Okay. Now, would you want to attempt the definition of politics or political? Anybody, those from the PSIR background, if you want to attempt any simplistic definition of political or politics, what exactly is political, what exactly is politics? Theory, thought, ideals, this will come a little later. Political science as a subject we'll discuss. We also will talk about political philosophy. Okay. Political theory, thought, ideal, science, philosophy. Politics, political. What is politics? What is political? You guys can go ahead and try to be a part of the lecture. I would want you to be a part. Politics, political. If I talk about political sphere, you have political sphere, you have economic sphere, you have social sphere. This is how we differentiate political sphere, economic sphere, social sphere. Related to economy, simple. Related to society, whatever goes on in the society. In society, what goes on? Relations between different groups. Now, these different groups are on the basis of caste, race, religion, or gender, or ethnicity, or language, or class. Groups, relations between different groups, simple. Economy, everything related to how do we produce something, how things have to be produced, how things have to be distributed, the supply of goods and services, that will constitute the economic. Political, something which has to do with norms, rules, regulations related to public sphere. norms, rules, regulations related to public sphere. Public sphere is the main aspect. In public sphere, you are creating norms, rules, regulations for the governance. In the public sphere, you do that in public sphere. You don't do it in private sphere. Politics is being defined by Arvind as balance of legislative, executive, judiciary, and country administration. Growth and development, Akshita Sharma. Okay. Politics, okay. You have some idea. We need to refine these ideas. Politics, first of all, happens in public sphere. It does not happen in private sphere. Okay. Traditional understanding of politics has been that it happens in the public sphere. Later on, we will criticize this aspect also from the feminist point of view, that politics happens within private sphere also. But traditionally, for our understanding at this point of time, traditionally politics has happened in public sphere. Politics happens in public sphere, whereby some norms, rules, regulations are being made for the governance. In this politics, there is a power distance between groups. Simple thing, men and women, there is a power distance. Caste relations, power distance. Brahman, Kshatriya, Brahman, Dalit, there is a power distance. Some will have more power, the other will not have more. The power distance creates a condition whereby the person on the top and the person which is not on the top, they have a relationship whereby some power distance exists. Because of this power distance, the person which has greater power, they try to impose their will on the persons who do not have that much power. The person who have greater power will try to impose their will on the persons who will not have that much power. And whenever these relationships we study, whereby some power distance is there, we talk about politics. We talk about politics. That there is politics between them. There is some kind of a politics going on between men, in the sense that one is trying to control the other is trying to protect itself or counter the exploitation which is going on. Common. Brahman, Dalit. Brahman, Kshatriya even. Both will have fight. Both will keep fighting. As per Ambedkar. Ambedkar says, Ambedkar has written a text called Who Are the Shudras? He says Shudras are nothing but the Kshatriyas which refused to accept the hegemony of Brahmins. So these were relegated down the line in the caste system by the Brahmins. At the end of the day, see, everything is about, at the end of the day, everything is about this. We create caste system, we create religion, we create barriers on different bases. We'll create a barrier between people on the basis of nations. You are a Pakistani, I am Indian. We have created, nobody else has created. Man creates. Caste system, men create. Religion as an institution, men created. It's there in men. They'll always live in groups. They'll form groups. And then they'll fight amongst groups also. And then they would want supremacy. One will want supremacy over the other. It has been going on, it will go on. This is how things have been going on. When we say that one group dominates over the other group, there is politics between them. There is always politics between them. Traditionally, politics has been played in the public sphere. Politics is related to capturing power. capturing power. Where is power? Narendra Modi ji, where he is sitting, there is power. That is power. Traditional conception. We will define power also later on in many different ways. But politics being played out in the public sphere, whereby people intend to capture power, and there is some power distance between the groups. This whole phenomena is being termed as politics. This whole phenomena is being termed as politics. Fighting, BJP fighting with Congress. How? Manifestos. We will make this. Congress said we will do this. They are telling the people that if you come with us, you will get this. BJP is telling if you come with us, you will get this. Why are they doing this? Because both want to capture power. And what is this process being called? Whereby they will come up with the election manifesto, they'll show it to people, they'll conduct rallies, and then they'll ask people to vote for them. This is all politics. This is all part of political processes. We'll call politics, call it political processes. One and the same thing. Political. It is related to capturing of power. It deals in public sphere. There is power distance between the groups, and they are constantly fighting with each other so as to capture power. This whole phenomena, whatever goes on within this, is called politics. It's a very, very vast term, or it incorporates many things. The politics. The word politics incorporates many things. Political processes. Political parties are there. Pressure groups are here. You have seen the pressure groups in the farmers' protests. So many pressure groups were there. They were sitting on the outskirts of the Delhi and protesting. They're all pressure groups. And whatever the activity they were doing, that is also political activity. Because at the end of the day, what was the goal? To get the laws repealed. Get the laws repealed. Laws are nothing but they were rules for the governance. So we'll say they are playing politics. That is part of the politics. Protest is part of the politics. Political parties are part of the politics. Political parties, they undertake so many activities. They're all part of politics. What exactly is politics? Our subject is political science. Rajniti Vigyan in Hindi. Rajniti Vigyan. Vigyan, science, राजनीति करनी है, पॉलिटिक्स. ठीक है, राजनीति सीरीज भी देखी होगी आप लोगों ने, आई थी सैफ अली खान वाली, अच्छी थी. But the movie was there. The movie's name was Rajniti. The series name, TV series name, Prime, it was, I think, Tandav. Yes, it's on politics. So you need to know first what is politics from the academic perspective also, and from the other perspective also. So you know from the other perspective, but you have to refine all that to bring it into the academic sphere. Politics involves capturing power, having power distance between nations, played out in the public sphere traditionally, but politics is between men and women in the private sphere also, which we'll come to later. So a lot of activities will be a part of politics. Okay. Now, when I talk about politics, it is something which is related to public sphere, having power distance between the groups. They are busy in fighting with each other for capturing power. This power relates to formulation of rules, norms, and regulations for the governance of the country. Fine. Now it's BJP in power, so they have gone ahead and created this law whereby they are saying that the Article 370 should be abrogated, or there is a virtual abrogation of Article 370. This is how they perceive things. So they're going ahead with doing it. Groups, they want to have their way. There's nothing wrong. It's democracy. Farmers would want to have those laws which will not hamper them. Corporates would want to have those laws which will not hamper them. Students would want to have those laws which will benefit them. Similarly, workers would want to have those laws which will benefit them. Similarly, women would also want to have those laws which protect them. Democracy is about resolving the conflicts between these people. Democracy is nothing but resolving the conflicts between these people, but in a peaceful manner. And now, to resolve these conflicts, we have created a system of parliamentary form of government whereby everybody is going and sitting. They are sending their people, farmers are sending their representatives, they are sending, everybody is sending, they are sitting in the parliament making laws, and we are being governed by those laws. We are being governed by those laws. Whatever activities they do, they'll reach out to political parties. They will reach out to political parties and tell them that we want this. Political parties will support them. Political party will support them, these groups. All this is part of politics. Then political parties will field candidates. BJP fielded Pragya Thakur. There was a lot of hue and cry. Why are you fielding a candidate who is seen as an extremist and a candidate who is making overt appeals to religious identity of people when they're asking for votes on religious identity? This is not how the politics should be played. So there are some rules with respect to which how the politics can be done also or not. So you cannot make religious appeals. That is prohibited in India. You cannot make religious appeals. Nevertheless, these rules are meant to be broken. It goes like this. The rules are meant to be broken. So rules will be broken, laws will be broken. It's not the case that it will not be, but we intend to live by that. We intend to make laws and we intend to implement them, and we should follow them. Whether they are followed or not, that is a different thing. We being a traditional society, the problem with Indians is we are a traditional society. We take glory. हम नहीं मानते law को. We take glory in the fact that will not abide by the law. These are not how things are to be. These are traits of a society which does not understand the rule of law. In India, there is rule of law. Which is the law? This is the law, constitution. We don't adhere to that. And we take pride in that also sometimes. Many times you might have seen in rural areas or in small tier 2, tier 3 cities, even in the metropolitan cities, people will not adhere to the traffic rules and they'll take pride in that. There is law. Go to USA, you'll see the difference. You'll see the difference. How each and every person stops at the red light. How they adhere to the speed limits. They ensure, obviously they have their officers patrolling the highways. They have the technology whereby if you cross the speed limit, they are going to stop you and they are going to give you a ticket. India also, we have all that. India, although that's not, the compliance is less, or from the other end, from the institution of state, police basically is a part of state. We'll define what state is, what police is. So don't worry about that. They also have an element whereby they are not very that much sincere in the implementation of the law, and we also do not care about the law. So our attitudes are built in a manner in which we don't obey the law. We have to obey the law. There is no rule of law in India, as in compliance is less. Those who do not agree, those who do not, let's say, stop their vehicles on the red light, are they punished? They may be, they might not be. Many times they're not also. So that is why there is in our society, there is a general feeling of not abiding by the law also. And sometimes it is taken, people take pride in that. You might have seen there'll be, they're firing at some wedding receptions or some whatever, when there's a occasion in their place, the people usually fire. This is a common culture in North India. You've seen in Punjab, Haryana, UP, Bihar, Rajasthan. You'll see this. I'm not aware about the South India, but it's a common culture in North India. This is not as per the law. You cannot do that. Still, it is done. So that has also to do with what kind of a society we are, and we have still a long way to go. Nevertheless, but we study from the perspective of that we are a democracy working under a constitution and taking things in a certain manner ahead. So those rules have to be adhered to. So if you're not adhering to the common rules, forget about the rules which the politics should be there. Politics also have to be played within a set of rules. We don't adhere to that also. That is a different thing. But nevertheless, political parties will field their candidates. Pragya Thakur, they're fielding Pragya Thakur. She is appealing to the people. She won. She won the seat. People want. That means people want her. Fielding her, fielding that particular candidate which has winnability criteria, it's all part of politics. There's nothing wrong in that. It's the people who have chosen her at the end of the day. And people are supreme. In a democracy, who is supreme? People are supreme. At the end of the day, it's the people who are supreme. Whatever the people will say will happen. Theoretically, practically, these things do not happen, and we still have a long way to go. Not only in our country, but in other countries also. Nevertheless, we'll talk about participatory democracy, representative democracy, whether people should participate or not. There is a school of, forget the school of thought, I'll tell you about the views of Aristotle. Most of you would know Aristotle as a thinker. We'll be studying Aristotle. Aristotle is known as the father of political science. So the political science subject owes its origin to the thoughts of Aristotle, in the sense that the most lasting contribution was made by Aristotle for the subject of political science. He says he does not like democracy. No. Democracy, which we take so much pride in our times, he did not like democracy. He said it is not a good system of governance because mango people are ruling it. Mango people are ruling it. Common man, middle class, they are ruling it. Do they actually have an idea about how the governance has to be done? He says no, they might not have. And it is also a possibility, he says that they will not be able to run it in an efficient and a manner in which it is not biased, or there is less of corruption. He says they might not be able to do it. So he does not like this form of government, because democracy at the end of the day is ruled by common people. Ruled by common people. He does not like this. But he agrees that there are other systems which have their own problems, and hence we have to settle with this. But in the first instance, he says, no, this is not the right form of government. Now you have democracy in India. People make comparison between democracy in India versus authoritarianism in China. Look at China where they are. They don't have democracy. So what? You don't need democracy. Don't keep talking about democracy. So one can grow without democracy also. These kinds of things are there, will be there. There's a big debate of democracy versus development. We'll talk about this also, democracy versus development. Singapore. Do you know Singapore was a third world country until very recently, 50 years back? Okay, make it 70 years. 1950s, we'll take. It was a third world country, meaning developing country, did not have the kind of a education which the Western have, did not have the kind of infrastructure which the Western countries have. Now it is considered as a first world country. In a short period of time, they have covered this journey. And there was a very famous leader who is credited with this for Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew. He says democracy sometimes can be problematic for development. Why? All the time you are fighting over whether decision has to be taken or not. No decision can be taken in the parliament. How will the projects move forward? How will the economy move forward? He's of this opinion. He says democracy delays development. Democracy will delay the development. He says, I have not worried too much about democracy in my country, and I have taken this country from the third world to the first world. So he says, why are you so hell-bent on democracy? Why are you so hell-bent on following that procedures? Why are you so hell-bent on taking everybody together in the decision making? No. Authoritarianism can help. Such kind of arguments are also made with respect to India and China. China is authoritarian. Look at where they are. We are democratic where we are. What according to you is more important? Is democracy more important or development more important? Can development be done with democracy? Or is development done at a much greater pace without democracy? What do you think? What are your views? Have you ever thought on these lines? Have you ever thought on these lines? This is what the subject will offer you. Mentos खाने से दिमाग की बत्ती नहीं जलेगी. Optional पढ़ने से जलेगी 100%. Optional is going to help you with respect to these things. Mentos is not going to help you with these things. Never mind. We have to learn these kinds of things, to look at things in a different manner, in a manner in which you are not looking. Definitely you are not looking, because you don't know how these things work. The subject will offer you a different perspective of looking at so many things. And this will actually help you in understanding so many different varied aspects which you will apply in your examination, not only in PSIR, but in the general studies and your essay also. So, how are the others doing? Can we have development without democracy? What are your views? For those who are masters in political science, doing masters in political science, any input? Any input? I'm waiting for you on the WhatsApp. Come on, interact. Whatever you know, nobody is going to judge you. We are not here to judge you. We are here to help you. And I would want everybody to be cooperative also when it comes to all these things. Encourage each other. Don't shy away from speaking your heart out, from speaking whatever is going on in your head. Okay. So these terminologies I'll be covering. Theory will incorporate all aspects related to a thinker. It is studied in space and time. I'll talk about this in more detail. Wait. Thought is associated with a particular time. Western political thought. In Western political thought, I will talk about ancient political thought. How people were thinking in the ancient times in the Western countries. Indian political thought, ancient. How Indians were thinking in the ancient times. And I'm talking about political thought. That means how they were, what were their views with respect to organization of the individuals, the norms, rules, and regulations which will govern the individuals. Okay. Then I will talk about modern Indian political thought. Modern Indian political thought is nothing but the views of Jawaharlal Nehru, Gandhi, Ambedkar, M.N. Roy, All these peoples created modern day India. The Indian state owes its many aspects, many facets to the ideas of these people, these leaders, these thinkers. So I'll study their political thought. That is thought. Okay, thought. What were you thinking? What was Aristotle thinking? What was Machiavelli thinking? What was John Locke thinking? What was Gandhi thinking? What was Ambedkar thinking? That is thought. Okay. Ideals. Justice, equality, liberty. न्याय क्या है? Justice. What is justice? What do you mean by justice? For some people, giving reservation is justice. For other people, giving reservation is not justice. It is injustice. So what is justice? Years back, until 100 years back, women did not have the right to vote. It was unjust. It was unjust. But this was going on since a long period of time. So this injustice was being carried since a long period of time. Is it the correct way to look at things? Giving women the right to vote is a part of justice. They did not have it earlier. Reservation is considered by some as justice, but then it was to be given for only 10 years. We are continuing it. Isn't it injustice? Or the people who need reservation, they are not able to get the benefits, but it is being appropriated by people who do not need it. Is it not injustice? How will I make a policy which is a just policy? When I talk about these aspects, I say I'm talking about political ideals. It is my ideal. I want to achieve justice. I want to achieve equality in society. I want to ensure liberty of every person living in India. These are my ideals. Ideals. Justice, equality, liberty. See, when we study political theory, we divide the political theory into a number of areas. This is how we divide it. And this is how we are going to do it also. Sir, a middle path must be chosen as people's participation is sine qua non to development. What is that middle path? Politics has a very negative connotation. Politics is not a noble profession. You want to go have a noble profession? Go be a doctor. Go be a teacher. Politics is not a noble profession. Politics is what it is. There's an autonomous sphere of politics. That also we'll talk about when we talk about Machiavelli. Autonomous sphere means it is not something which a doctor does. It is not something which a academician will do. It is not something what a advocate will do. It is not something which a laborer will do. It is not something which an industrialist does. It has its own sphere. It is a separate area. But without politics, how can things move? You need somebody to capture power and make laws for you. Ancient India gives example, we can have massive development without democracy. Example, Mauryan Empire, right? Great. Both can exist together. Example is USA. Oh, very good. Democracy and development. Okay. Mauryan Empire, development without democracy. Some form of democracy always exists. Too much democracy can be problematic. Too much democracy can be problematic. Where to toe the line it's a difficult thing to understand. It's a difficult thing to implement. But good. Development with democracy. If there's authoritarian regime, it will instigate people to protest, which will ultimately lead to unrest and hence hamper development. Yes, possible. Development. So what Meenakshi is essentially saying is your development, in order for it to be sustainable, it has to be democratic. It has to be within the means of democracy if the development has to be sustainable. Chalti rahe. If this is, it has to keep on going. It's not that there's a burst of development and then suddenly everything vanishes. Okay, good, good. Coming to political theory, Western political thought. Told you how the Western people were thinking. Ancient times, modern times, contemporary times. So we'll be dividing the time frame into ancient, medieval, modern, contemporary. Contemporary is how things are going now. Modern is since the modernity started. When did the modernity start? You'll tell me. Medieval, you know. Ancient, you know. Indian political thought. Similarly, we usually study it as ancient and modern. That is it. Political theory and concepts. Within this will come the political ideals. Now, you should know the syllabus thoroughly. Political theory. Look at the syllabus here. When I talk about this syllabus, I have political theory. What exactly is a state? Justice, equality, rights, democracy, concept of power, hegemony. These things are there. So we'll talk about this. I'll not go to the details of all this as of now. Wait for it. Political theory. Now, let me talk a little bit about political theory. Theory will incorporate, theory is a very vast term. Theory is a very vast term. For example, Plato gave his political theory. Plato gave his political theory. Essentially means he will write 3, 4, 5 books and he will talk about a lot of topics which will be together said to constitute his political theory. Okay. whatever he will produce. Now he has written many books. Now in these books are concepts related to justice, society, state, liberty. He has talked about all these aspects. He has talked about education. Okay. All these collectively are his views regarding how things should be there in a state. Okay. This is known as his political theory. So it's a very vast term which will include everything which a seeker writes at a particular point of time. It's studied in space and time. It's classified in space and time in the sense that we'll talk about political theory of the ancient time. I'll talk about political theory written 500 years before. I'll talk about political theory, how it is written now. There are differences. There are differences in the approach. There are differences in the methodology. We'll study all that, how things are being looked at. So political theory, the question they'll ask, political theory is essential to the study of the human beings. Elaborate. What is the meaning of all that? What is the meaning of political theory? It means all the holistic thoughts written by a philosopher at a particular period of time that will constitute to be political theory. So if I talk about political theory of ancient times, I'll refer to the thoughts of Plato, Aristotle, let's say Saint Augustine. Political theory of ancient times. If I'll ask you, like, what is political theory of ancient times? I'll refer to the thoughts of these people because they were observing things. Sorry, beg your pardon. Because these people were observing things and these people were prescribing also how things have to be done. But when they were observing all these things, they were writing how things are going on in their world. So it tells me how the world was being governed at that point of time, or that particular country in which they are writing is being governed. Now we have this state. Now you have this state. How is governance done in India? State does it. Executive, legislative, judiciary. You intend to enter here. You intend to enter this arm. Civil services examination will give you the entry into this arm. Why do you want to be there? Why don't you want to be there? This place, very powerful. Why don't you want to be at this place? Very powerful. Why not? Why don't you become a politician? Lots of power. If you're going for the power, if you're going to do good of the people, lots of again opportunity for the minister to do good. Why this? Why this? Okay. You don't have to answer me. Why not be a politician? It's tough. It's very tough to be a politician. You cannot just become a politician. You need to have resources, you need to have the resolve. Arvind Kejriwal, he made a jump. He made a jump. He was successful in making this jump, entering. Or he was successful rather within making the jump from the executive being a IAS officer and rather now being an executive itself, which is CM. But then he has his own party. They are doing so many things. He's essentially a MLA now. An MLA, in case of India, finally, they become ministers also. This is a case of parliamentary form. This does not happen in USA. Never mind. We'll talk about all these things. Don't worry. So coming back, we have the state, executive, legislature, judiciary. This is how the governance is being done in India. And on top of this, this state is being governed by, or being guided by the constitution. This is how we do it. They do their function. Each of these bodies, they do their function. And we have on one hand side the citizens who have their rights. Citizens have their rights. This is how things are going on in India or in any part of the world. This is how it is going on. Yes, in some places this might not be there, or in some places, instead of this, what they will have is a religious book. But largely, they will all have these bodies, they will all have this. This is how we are living in these times. State is the most important organ. State is the most important organ. Now, let me tell you another thing with respect to our classes, how we will be dealing with things. See, at the end, at the heart of social sciences is this framework. Human, society, state. This framework is going to help you a lot in the coming times, and we will be doing all our study with respect to this framework. Human, society, state. This is the area of emphasis of PSIR. Okay. But obviously it has relations with this, it has relations with this also. The primary area of study of PSIR is the state. Being a politician does not guarantee lifetime power, Arvind Singh ji. So Arvind wants power. He's saying being a politician will not guarantee lifetime power, and he wants lifetime power. You can have lifetime power. You just have to get re-elected every time. You'll have power, have a lot of power. Okay. State, human, society. This basic framework is needed. Okay. The idea is the state will constitute, this particular state, it will constitute these organs, which I have dealt, executive, legislative, judiciary. And together with the interaction with humans on one hand side and society on the other hand side, we are trying to govern what we call as India, or USA is trying to govern what they call as USA. What is it? It's essentially a territory. It's a territory. People are living there. We have created this state. The constitution has given rights to these humans. The society is there whereby all these people, they came together. They said we are bored. Human was born, human felt bored. So human said what to do now. So they created some institutions. They created the institution of marriage. They felt companionship is important in their life. So they created marriage. Then they felt marriage is also not sufficient. Let's have a family. Why? It comes from the basic urge of reproduction. Okay, new life, family. Then to govern all this, you created religion. How will you govern your family? How will everybody govern their family? How will everybody govern so many families which are created? You need some rules and regulations. Religion. Some people later on said that we are not happy with this rules and regulations, so we'll create our own rules and regulations. So religion too, another religion. Some people again said that we are not happy with the rules and regulations, so we'll create our own rules and regulations. Another religion came into being. We made all these are institutions of society. Now they are existing. Now I want to govern all of them. I want to govern this also. I want to govern this also. So this was also created. State. The state was created and they started making laws and they started resolving disputes. Judiciary resolving disputes. Judiciary. This is how everything happened. And we are trying to refine this process since then. We are trying to make the process better. It's not that there was not executive, legislative, and judiciary in the ancient times. In some crude form, they were existing. In case of India also, those of you who have history as their subject in graduation, they would know how there were urs and sabhas during the Cholas. They were bodies, deliberative bodies, just like we have deliberative body of legislature now. We go there and we talk, we drink tea. They don't drink tea in the house. But point is, the MPs and the MLAs, they meet, they talk, they deliberate, they form laws. This is what we do in parliament. This was done earlier also. It's not that it was not done, it was done. But not in the manner in which it is done now. Not on the scale on which it is done now. That's different. So we created this state. And the state has a relationship with the humans. State has a relationship with the society. And it is the dynamics of all this, which we intend to learn. This is what your general studies 2 is also. Theoretical portion is political theory. If I talk about this theoretical portion, this is political theory. When I apply it, it is nothing but your general studies 2. Indian polity, political processes, judiciary, legislature, disputes resolution. What is this all? It's coming from here. It's coming from this relation. Okay. Secularism. It comes from state and religion. Okay. Broad idea of things. Nevertheless, let's move forward. So this framework I am going to use to teach you the entire PSIR, to teach you entire general studies, to teach you entire political theory, to teach you entire general studies too. This portion will be taught, this entire portion will be taught with the help of this framework. So I want you to start getting comfortable with all this because I'll be using all this in the coming lectures. I don't intend to burden you with a lot of information today. I'll not go into more details now. I'll tell you the brief of things, how are things going to be, and then we'll end the today's lecture and then we'll meet in the next lecture again to continue, and from there we'll pick up the subject in detail. So, discussing with you with respect to, yes, I will start talking to you how we are defining this. So, we have defined political thoughts, we have defined political theory, we have defined political ideology. What is ideology? Let me tell you. Ideology. Ideology. What is ideology? It's idea. It's idea, first of all. I am saying it's an idea. Liberalism. It's an idea. Marxism. It's an idea. Feminism. Idea. Stay with me. Terrorism. Idea. It's an idea. All are ideas. Liberalism as an idea will say, if man is not given liberty, he is not leading a life which he should be living. Simple. Simplest of terms. If man is not given liberty, he is not living the life which he should live. Liberty. Liberty is the essence of liberalism. It comes from the word liber. Liber means free man. Free from what? Free from? Free from? I'll come to this. I'm talking about man. That means I'm talking about this entity now. Human, at the level of human. Who can restrain this? Either this entity can restrain or this entity can restrain. Within society, what restricts you? Religion restricts you. Non-veg nahi khana hai. Don't eat non-veg. Who is telling you? Religion is telling you, restricting you. Fine. Family will restrict you what to do, what not to do. Obviously, they are doing it for your own benefit. We are not saying, we are not going into that aspect, but point is, who can restrict you? Society can restrict you. State can restrict you. So say something against Yogi ji, you'll be taken on a lighter note. You'll be taken and you'll be put in the jail. Who is restricting your freedom of speech and expression? State is restricting your freedom of speech and expression. So the liberals are all about this entity. Human, 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 human. They'll say, this state, this intervenes and restricts my liberty. I have to curb this state. Society, they also try to do that. I want to live my life my way. Why are you telling me not to eat non-vegetarian food? I will eat non-vegetarian food if I want to eat. My conscience allows it, I'll do it. Just for the sake of example. The entire emphasis of liberals is on humans. Okay, liberty. You may agree with it, you might not agree with it. Okay. The idea is this is the way things should be. Liberalism will say this is the way things should be. Marxism. They will not give emphasis on liberty. No. They will give emphasis on equality. Now look, what were these? These were nothing but political ideas. All these things are related. Ideals will make ideology. Okay, don't get confused. I'm not going to the detail of this. Slowly and steadily we'll get there. Liberalism, liberty, main idea. Marxism, equality. All should be equal. Ambani, Adani, you and me, all should be equal. We are not equal. All should be equal. That is their conception that how things should be. Society should be such that there is no stark differences in income and wealth. Do you have that society? We have never had that society. There are stark differences in income and wealth when it comes to different people in the society. They're going to be there. Nevertheless, the main idea is equality amongst people. Feminism. They'll talk about how women are subordinated, subjugated. But are all women subordinated, subjugated? Maybe, maybe not also. It's an idea. It's an idea that all women are subjugated. Okay. Not necessarily all women are subjugated. Do you have empirical facts for that? But the idea is women's subjugation has been something of a universal phenomenon, and hence women need extra rights or extra protection. Feminism. It's an idea. Terrorism. I want to capture power, so I will use violence. Justifying the use of violence for your political gains. Justifying the rule of violence, justifying the use of violence for your political gains. That is terrorism. So you feed this to your followers that you use violence, don't worry, we are doing a good cause. let's say you will get Jannat. When it comes to, let's say, talking about the terrorists who belong to, who are raging so-called jihad, their minds have been brainwashed in the sense that you're doing a better cause. This idea is created in their mind that you're working for a better cause, and then that is why violence is also justified. It's an idea. It's not a reality. It may not be a reality. All these are ideas, ideologies, and we say political ideology. Why political ideology? Because all these ideas are used to gain power. What did I tell you about politics? It's associated with power, capturing power. Political ideology. There's an idea as per which people are given this idea at the end of the day. It's put in their brain, and then you use that to gather people together, get their votes, and finally go and sit in the seat of power. Political ideologies. Liberalism, socialism, feminism, Marxism, Gandhism. Gandhism is also an idea. Ram Rajya. People will live like they'll come together, cooperate, and live. Will the different castes come together? Have they come together in rural India now? They have yet not come. Idea. Gandhi is also selling an idea. Everybody is selling an idea. Okay, that's ideologies. It's not something which is real. Okay. This is how we differentiate between parts. This was the first part, political theory. This is a part which usually most of the students find a little bit difficult because obviously it's abstract, it's new things, you don't know what equality is, what power is. So we'll talk about all this in detail. Then comes the Indian government and politics part, which is a very easy part. It's a very easy part in the sense that whatever we study here, we apply it in context of India, specifically Indian government and politics. And this portion has a huge overlap with your general studies too. So we'll be studying how the constitution is made, what are the major features of constitution, what is the role of parliament, what is the role of judiciary, and how politics is done in India. In India, you have caste, important factor in politics. You have religion, another important factor. You have language, another important factor. So all these are important factors in India's politics. We'll study all these things in the Indian government and politics portion. Okay, so I'll not go into the details of this as of now because this is on the easier side with general studies 2 overlap, huge overlap with general studies 2. This is an area again which has some specific aspects related to PSIR only, comparative politics and international politics. Comparative politics. First, I'll discuss comparative politics. This is how paper 2 has been, paper 2 part A has been divided. First part comparative, second part theory, third part international politics, and fourth part is global concerns. So I've divided the syllabus into these parts, and all this division is available in this document for you. So I have done it, and I'll be sharing this with you so that you know what we are doing. It's very, very important that you know that, okay, we are doing political ideologies. So that means what we are doing is this. Okay. Similarly, if we are doing Indian political thought, then this is my syllabus. And these all things should be on your tips down the line because you should know each and everything with respect to syllabus. That, okay, this is from this portion of syllabus. Okay. Paper 2, part A, comparative politics. This division has been made in the manner in which the UPSC syllabus is given. So UPSC syllabus 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. This is for comparative politics. Okay. Similarly, the next points, this is 0.4, this is 0.5 in your UPSC syllabus. This is theory of international relations. This theory of international relations. This one. Okay, these two documents will help you take things in a understanding in a holistic manner. Okay, let's move forward. Comparative politics is essentially about, let's say, parliamentary system is there in India and UK, but the working of the system is different. So we'll compare the politics of UK with India. We'll see how the comparisons are made. What are the various kinds of approaches which can be used to make comparison? I want to compare the politics of India and UK. How will I compare it? Comparative politics will give me tools, approaches, different kinds of, different ways of looking at things. So different ways I will discuss with you. That is what the syllabus is about. Theory of international relations, I told you, schools of thought, realism, liberalism, then you have functionalism, they will come. Again, as the name suggests, theory of international relations. On what basis the international relations are being carried out? That is the essential. International politics. This is very interesting. Cold War. A new Cold War is said to have begun between between USA and China. Some will say, no, it is not a Cold War. Is it a Cold War? Is it not a Cold War? What was the earlier period of time which we called as Cold War? What were the features of Cold War? How China has risen so much? Why Russia is also coming into picture again? Where does India stand? What do you mean by power? What do you mean by power? Is power only hard power, or is there a soft power also? Soft power, you might have come across this term, soft power. All these things are covered in international politics. Very interesting, very interesting. And this book is also very interesting. Andrew Haywood by Global Politics by Andrew Haywood. Very interesting book. No need to buy it. Just for those of you who are enthusiasts, if they want to invest, although it's a little on the costlier side, it's a good book. It's a very good book. One of the few books which I tell everybody to go through, because it will, again, it will open up your mind. Global concerns, there's a topic. We'll cover it through the Indian Express and the Hindu articles. It's a little bit dynamic in nature. Then comes the India and world part. It's a very interesting part, very easy also, if done properly, but a dynamic. So lots of editorials from Hindu, Indian Express, Diplomat, ORF. We will follow and we'll cover it through these things. There are other resources also which can be referred to for this portion. But for this portion, we will not read any of the books. I have given the books. These books are not updated. These books are not updated, but they are very good for creating a base. But you don't have to do that. No need at all. Because we'll be doing everything in the class, and rather UPSC is not asking very old issues. They are asking very, very recent issue when it comes to IR that can very easily be answered with respect to by reading newspaper editorials. No need to read books. Another important thing which I was telling yesterday also was no need to read any book end to end. Please do not read any book end to end for the general studies also. Even Lakshmikant Spectrum, don't read end to end. Read topics. Always read topics. PSIR, if you feel like you do not have, if you want to get more understanding of the subject, I'll provide you with more material. But if you still want to go ahead, then read only those portions from the book which you do not understand. Don't read end to end. If somebody is reading end to end, leave it right now. Not needed. You will be wasting your time. A lot of time. This is not the demand of the examination. So the book list is this. This is how we intend to go ahead. This part, India and world, I'll keep sharing articles with you. We'll keep discussing in the class from the let's say sometime down the line, we'll start with this also. Otherwise, we'll be starting with this portion, and within this portion also, we'll be starting with this portion from the next lecture. And IR part, I'll keep doing it side by side also. I intend to do it, give you articles so that you stay connected with whatever is going on in the world. And I would want you to be active when it comes to newspaper reading, because then we'll be making all the connections also side by side. Any doubts at this point of time, please go ahead and ask. Any doubts at this point of time? Arvind, Minakshi, Akshita, Junaid, Murari, any doubts at this point of time? Nisha, Vikrant, Sidra, Salini, Savita. Any doubts at this point of time? Go ahead and ask. Otherwise, I'll be ending today's lecture. From next lecture, we'll be diving into this Western political thought. We'll be starting with Plato as a thinker, and I'll be giving you a lot of notes starting from the next lecture. Dictation will start, and till the institute does not open, we'll be studying through this manner. I hope this is also visible to you in a clear manner, so that the study part is not hampered. And as soon as the institute opens up, then we will shift to the digital board itself. So as of now, they are closed. Okay. Any doubts? Anybody? Please go ahead and ask. Sir, then how to decide what not to read? Why to read anything? I'll give you material. You read that material. You read Indian Express and the Hindu if you want to read editorials. Plus do class notes. More than sufficient. Why do you want to read so many things? Why do you want to read? Even if you want to read, first let the course start. Let 1 week go by. You have something to think on. And then if you even want to, then connect with me separately. I will tell you, okay, you can, if you want, you can go and read only this aspect. But then stay in touch with me constantly. I'll keep guiding you. Otherwise, if you go and read anything, you take any book or you take any material and you start reading it, don't do that. You want to do that? If you want to read any kind of a material, first of all, read only books. Secondly, stay in touch. I'll guide you, not a problem. And only if you haven't understood things. Only if you haven't understood things. Otherwise, go ahead. Next class will be on Monday. Next class will be on Monday. We'll be meeting on Monday, Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday will be off. Just wanted to kick off the course. From Monday, we'll be starting with the course in the sense that I'll be teaching you political thought. Plato's political thought will start. What he has talked about, different dimensions. So the manner in which we'll be studying is I'll be the conceptual part, and then dictation, then conceptual, then dictation. This is how we'll be together for 2.5 hours daily. So you'll understand daily. I'll try to make you understand things. I'll keep writing something on my tablet. You keep noting those things down. Then I'll give you the dictation also, which will be separate. So in this manner only, you will be writing it down side by side. Okay. Any other doubts at this point of time? Arvind, go ahead and ask. Akshita, sir, what to do this Sunday, Saturday? I'll provide you with some material. So let's do one thing. I'll provide you with some material. It will be uploaded on your portal by the evening. You start reading that material. I'll provide you with a printed material. Start reading about what political thought is. That is a better thing to do. Rather, this will be a better thing to do, that if you can study something on Saturday and Sunday, and then the same thing which I'll teach on Monday, it will be easier for you to understand. So you can do that. With respect to material, maximum material will be uploaded on your portals. If something does not turn up on your portal, I will be giving it to you on your WhatsApp group also. So be a little bit active on the group in terms of whenever the material is being shared. But don't worry about whatever material I share, that will be uploaded on your portals. So that let portal be the primary area whereby you get all the materials. Okay, others, go ahead. Any assignment? Let the course begin first. So we'll study for 10 days, or let's say 5 days first. Then I'll provide you with the assignment side by side. Yes, assignments will be given every week, or depending on whenever the portion is completed, one portion is completed. Let's say I complete Plato, Aristotle. 2 thinkers, I'll provide you with the assignment. Then I'll take another 2 thinkers, then I'll provide you with the assignment. That is how we intend to go ahead. But first, understand a few things, then you will do the assignments. Yes, you have tests, sectional tests we'll keep. We'll keep sectional tests also. After every section is completed, we'll keep a test. In addition to sectional tests, what we'll keep is live tests. This is something which we did last time, and this is something which has been received very well. So I intend to continue with that. Live test will be there, whereby 1 to 2 p.m. we'll try to write 5 to 6 questions. This will be a guided test. In a sense, I'll be telling you when to start writing, when to stop writing. It will be more like a pressure created on you to write answers within a particular period of time. But this will happen much later. First, I would want you to write assignments so that you get a habit of writing introduction, body, conclusions. After you get that, you are in that habit of writing in this assignments for, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks. After that, we'll move on to a live test, and we'll have live tests after every 20 days or so that you write in a particular period of time only. Okay. We'll keep live tests. Last time, it was a new thing which we started, and because see, it's an online thing, it's a new thing, all things, we haven't done all this earlier. And so this was an experiment whereby, and the first reaction from all the students was, sir, we did not know when the 1 hour ended. And it was actually a push for us that you gave us this, and they were there, just like this we were doing. And they said we are taking 20-25 minutes of writing one answer, and to write an answer in 8 to 10 minutes was a very big thing for us, and it was a very big nudge. It pushed us to go beyond limits. So the push is needed in the sense that कितने पानी में हो ये पता होना चाहिए, और वो ऐसी चीजों से पता लगेगा तो हम करेंगे उसको. Don't worry about these aspects. I'll ensure that you are getting all these things. But first you understand, then you write assignments, then you come for the live test. This is the process in which things have to be done. So first understanding, take down notes, revise notes, write assignments, then after that live test. This is the process which we will follow. Okay. What to do in weekend? I'll share some material. Start reading the material. Start reading the material in the weekend. Start reading the material in weekend. Okay. Any other doubts at this point of time? Go ahead and ask. Otherwise, I'll close the session for today and we'll meet again. Any doubt which comes to your mind, feel free to ask me. This has to be an activity which you enjoy. Learning should be fun. Learning will be fun. We learn in a manner in which you understand, in which you write, in which you enjoy 1 to 3:30 p.m. So when we finished the previous batch, I asked one students, what are you going to miss the most about? Because we were connected and we'll be connected for a long period of time, right? So you're going to become my family. And they said, sir, we'll be missing the aspect that 1 to 3:30 p.m. was a fun activity for us. So they used to come, they used to enjoy, we used to share a lot of things, we used to study. And that is how we intend to go ahead with the course also. It will not be a top-down approach whereby I'll keep speaking, you will keep writing, or you'll keep listening to my lecture and then you go home. No. Come for the class in a manner that you are looking forward to the class, that you are trying to understand some things. This is what the idea of the course is. So we'll make sure that the course is, make sure that the entire activity is fun for you. Okay, learning should be fun. Perfect. So everybody, all the very best. Welcome on board. We'll start the journey, and I'll assure you that the journey will be rewarding for you, both in terms of your time and in terms of learning. And this I'll try to ensure that. And I'll just want few things from you, which is attend the live lectures, do the assignments at your end, and ask as many doubts as possible, but after thinking. Don't come up with a very basic thing doubt. Starting point of time, come with whatever comes to your mind, not a problem. Then down the line, I would want you to make friends within the group itself so that you can interact with them also. Last batch also, they have made friends within the group. They were interacting all the time. And this is how learning becomes easier. And it remains to be fun. Okay. How much time need to prepare PSIR in a day? That depends. That depends. If you are not having general studies lecture or anything else, then I would say that after class also you give 1 hour for the half an hour or 45 minutes for the revision of the lecture. And after 1 week or 2 weeks, then you constantly revise also, because I'll be providing you with a lot of written material, dictation, and I'll be providing you a lot of handouts also. So you'll have a lot of material to go through, and you'll have to be going through all the material, and then you'll have to be attempting the assignments. So after classes, you might have to give 1.5 hours also down the line. As of now, 2.5 hours of classes, half an hour of revision, more than sufficient. Down the line, you start giving more time, 1.5 hours after the class also, whereby you'll revise, you'll go through the material, and you'll attempt the assignments. Saturday and Sunday, keep for assignments, in the sense that you revise everything which is done Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, write the assignments. This part you'll have to be, proactive on. Sir, will you attempt some previous questions in real time? We can attempt them. We'll be doing previous questions as a part of the course itself. So in the course itself, I'll be telling you the different concepts from the previous year questions. That is already a part of the course. We'll attempt also. So what we'll do is, we'll keep it as a part of the live test, or we'll keep it as a part of the assignments, which we will attempt, and then I'll tell you what was to be written in that. We'll do everything. It's a holistic thing. It's not something that this only will be done, and no. Answer writing is very much a part of it. Live test will very much a part of it, so that you get a hang of the subject. It's not that, and once you have a good hang of this subject, 1.5 months, you'll be comfortable with the subject. Then the things will be very smooth. 1.5 months is something whereby you will require efforts. More efforts will be required from your end, in the sense that new terminology coming up, new kind of assimilation, new kind of thought process has to be developed. Once you have this, things will be easy. Things will be easy. Rest assured. Okay. So my friends from the Northeast, please provide me with a simple name. So because I'll want to know you on name-to-name basis. Others are easy. And I'm very happy to have Northeastern friends here with us. So we'll get to know more about the region. Tell everybody of us more about the culture and everything. Let this be a community. Let this not be a group only. Let this be a community, whereby you share things. You help each other. Perfect. Great. Finally. Okay, everybody. It's 3 o'clock. Ending the session for today. We'll be continuing from Monday, and we'll start from Monday with Western political thought, the thoughts of Plato, and I'll provide you a document regarding a political thought will be uploaded on your portals in a while, probably in 1 hour. And at weekend, what I would want you to do is try to read that document. And then on Monday, we'll be discussing many aspects from the document itself. Perfect. Okay. Okay, everybody. Thank you once again. And once again, welcome on board. And let's meet on Monday now.